Sonic Unleashed. A world adventure, you might say. What's up guys, Roman the Human here, and I finally got around to this one. I always wanted to after playing the other mainline games like the Adventures, the Classics, and Generations and Colors, but I just didn't have a good way to play it. While I was playing those games, I always had a slight interest in checking it out, and it was on my list. I knew next to nothing about it. I didn't know the stages, characters, or story. But right when I was about to check it out on Xbox, miraculously, it got a PC port, which, for about a week, everybody in the gaming community was talking about. Like, everybody. There are videos about how it was recompiled by fans and stuff, but this is just the way I played the game. It goes without saying that this is the definitive way to play the game. So, how is Sonic Unleashed? Do I like it? Something equally as important as gameplay to me in a Sonic game is the cutscenes and story. Well, this is one of my favorite Sonic stories of all time, and the cutscenes look so good for 2008. Jason Griffith isn't my favorite Sonic voice, Roger is, but he's really good here.
Yeah, this is the real me. Pretty cool, huh?
So, to start things off, Sonic chases Dr. Robotnik across a fleet of spaceships. Hopefully there's no actual people in there. And corners him in one of the greatest Sonic cutscenes of all time. The way the sirens go off as Sonic hits this pose is just so cool. Robotnik traps him using the Chaos Energy Cannon, draining the Chaos Emeralds and unleashing an ancient demon named Dark Gaia, which shatters the planet into 7 pieces. The machine seems to have transformed Sonic into a werehog. At night, he gains strength, I guess, and certainly loses speed. After being promptly ejected into space, Sonic crashes on Earth and on top of a little fella who can't remember his name. Sonic just calls him Chip, and Sonic just helps him out. Together they set out to restore the planet and Chaos Emeralds by restoring the 7 Gaia temples around the world. As they progress, Sonic meets up with Tails, Amy, and not Knuckles, cause Professor Pickle's here. When most of the world is restored, Chip remembers he is like Gaia, destined to battle Dark Gaia in an eternal cycle. They confront Robotnik in his new base, Eggman Land, and eventually save the world. I'll talk more about the ending later, but that's the gist of the story. Let's talk about the actual gameplay real quick. So Sonic Unleashed has 2 gameplay styles, Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Werehog. Unique boosting Sonic speed stages, and then a slower, more mellow combat-focused gameplay. So, because of this, we got 17 meaty stages. Let's quickly run through them all. First is Windmill Isle Day. So Sonic Unleashed takes place over several in-universe countries. However, it's pretty obvious what in-game countries are supposed to be. Apatos is Greece, Begonia is Italy, Missouri is Mali, Shamar is Jordan, Empire City is the US, Holoska is Greenland, Cheonan is China, and Atabat is like Indonesia. Anyway, back to our starting point in Windmill Isle Day. These 2 stages are first in the game, and any day stage is a blast, and well, Act 1's over before I can talk about it. Let's go on to something actually worth replaying. Act 2 is fantastic. All the day stages are. I don't want to praise the stage too much because with the Mountains of Gold we're working with in this game, it isn't as special. This level's got boosting in a straight line, QTEs, boosting in a straight line, holding down square to boost in a straight line, and boosting in a straight line. It's amazing! But seriously, gameplay wise, it isn't as special compared to the rest of the game. At least it's better than the opening stage of Forces.
I'm just holding down square, and I beat the level by holding down square.
It does a great job of giving you the fantastic sense of speed, and the visuals are gorgeous. This level's checking all the boxes visually, the whole game is. But Windmill Isle looks different in the night. This is the level where you save Tails from the monsters he easily could have saved himself from, and this level introduces the Werehogs gameplay. I sure do love walking around at a moderate walking speed, collecting many random objects, and destroying these enemies, just pounding them into the ground. This level actually does do a great job teaching the player what these Werehog levels are going to be like. Beat up some little guys, some minor puzzle or platforming, beat up some more little guys, and then go beat up a big guy. It's an overall pretty good Werehog level, vibes are good, and it's not overly easy, and it ends right when it needs to. Next country we go to is Mazuri, with a back-to-back night stage. Savannah Citadel Night is where the game really starts to frustrate me. This is what I don't like to see in these night levels. Too much mandatory combat, pushing blocks, turning cranks to allow more blocks to be pushed, and the level just lasts way too long. No, I don't want to go from rolling around with the speed of sound to doing manual labor. This level just kinda sucks. Not too much to say about it anyway. However, the day's a different story. It's good. It's a bit on the shorter side. I like the aesthetics of the level with the savanna animals on the side, the big tree climb at the end. It's extremely fun to speedrun and not mess up like I'm doing in this footage. The section of jumping from what looks to be a treehouse is a unique and standout section in the level. This is the first level where you actually get to use the drift too. It's a little hard to get the hang of, but once you get the turn left to go right idea down, it's not really so bad. It's pretty satisfying. It's fun running around these rainbow tent things. It's an overall great stage, it just could have used to be a tad longer. Now we're on to the ice level. Things are actually getting really good now. Cool Edge Day. I go back and forth on this one. When I first played it, I found it to be really frustrating. It took me a while to beat because I just kept falling off the bobsled. So what did I do? I locked in. To get the obvious out of the way, the visuals and set pieces are some of the best in the game. Bobsledding down these ice slides, running over the frigid water, and being launched by this massive whale and his poor back is getting shredded. I love blasting through the spiky ice tunnel and nailing it is so satisfying. And that huge bobsled jumping is just thrilling. Despite it being a bit too challenging for how early it is in the game, and on my first playthrough making me want to throw my controller out the window, it's the best we've talked about so far. Now we're back to Spagonia. Rooftop Run Night. There is no rooftop running in this level. You walk around a city while cleansing it of its enemies, and then climb a big building and briefly become a horologist. And then the level's over. Do you see how these levels become repetitive? I just don't like breaking into every single building I see to possibly find one sun medal. I will say, again, the music here is quite nice. Dragon Road Night. This is one of my favorite Werehog levels simply because you can beat it in like 4 minutes, not 20. Platforming is simple, but way more fun than we've seen in anything before this, leaping around these big poles and swinging off floating enemies. That's all I have to say about this one, though, it's so short. Now we're on to a doozy with Rooftop Run Day. What can I say about this level that hasn't been said before? It's my second favorite stage in the game. We'll get to why that is in a bit, but you go so fast in this level. Running around the city, destroying everything in your way, 2 long laser chases, and oh my god, bouncing up that clock tower and then sliding all the way down is so satisfying. It's one of the fastest levels in the game. The level isn't start-stop, you just keep going, and that music is phenomenal. The level is just epic, and the only real criticism I have is that it's lacking color, I guess. I think I was just spoiled by the gorgeous Generations version I experienced first. The Generations version has all the in-game country flags, colorful hot air balloons, and just looks cleaner. It also basically fixes every flaw with the original, but we're not talking about Generations in this video. The original still holds up. This corner in particular feels really good to drift around. Overall, this level is a standout, and you'll never find someone who hates it. We're back to Dragon Road, but this time of the day. This one's always a fun one. Opening is great, running along this humongous bridge is so satisfying, the setting is beautiful. You leap through this dragon's mouth, running along its back before transitioning to 2D. Sprinting along this water and drifting around this boat is by far the highlight of the level. Visually and gameplay wise, it's great. Both Dragon Road Day and Night are both on the shorter side, but that's not exactly a bad thing. Everybody loves Generations, and most of the modern stages in that game are like 2 minutes. Cool Edge Night. The first thing I want to say is the first time I played this stage, I hated it. And I still do. These icicle platforming parts legitimately caused me a game over. I was beginning to despise Holoska. And after playing the stage, it actually kind of grew on me. Is it still too long? Absolutely. The stage will not end. Every time I replay this game now, this is the only part of the game I dread replaying. Even when getting footage for this video, it was really frustrating me. The boss fight with this Dragon Eel Moray thing also sucks. The actual fight is garbage and can feel totally unfair. I'm probably just impatient and need to get good. I will say, the music for this stage is good. We've gotten real cold in Holoska, so now we're back to Shamar with Arid Sands Day. S-tier Sonic level in my opinion. We got drifting, people to crash into, banger music, and some rail shortcuts. I love spots like this in stage where it opens up to branching paths over a scary gap, just like another stage we'll talk about soon. I wish I had more to say about it, but all these day levels are just good in the same ways. Skyscraper Scamper Day is one of the best title levels in the game, and this is one of the greats. One of the most legendary Sonic stages of all time. This is like if Rooftop Run and Arid Sands had a beautiful, radiant baby. It's so fast and a ton of skills are put to the test. The segment with all the interconnecting rails is by far the highlight. However, the game said you've had too much fun and puts us back into our night stage. It's definitely one of the better night stages, but Jungle Joyride Night is still a night stage. There is some stupid lever pulling nonsense and button pushing, but there's some really nice platforming in here. Pull swinging is put to good use, and the button pressing at the end is a little frustrating on your first playthrough, but after replaying the stage multiple times, it isn't so bad. It's got good vibes, and there's some nice cello in the music. Jungle Joyride Day, my favorite stage in all of Sonic Unleashed, and one of, if not my favorite Sonic stage of all time. Platforming is tighter, spectacle is higher, QTEs are less forgiving, with one of the most intense music tracks in the game letting you know you're reaching the end. The finale of the journey is just over the horizon. The amount of scenery changes is just glorious. It also helps this is one of the best looking Sonic games. Now we're on to the big one, Eggman Land, the borderline flawless stage. This level lives in infamy due to its difficulty. It took me an hour and a half to beat on my first playthrough, and honestly, that's okay. A game should end with a challenge to test all of your skills that you've learned throughout the game. It's not unreasonably impossible or anything, it's a fair challenge and that's why I like it. Unlike Final Fortress, this isn't a nearly impossible and almost completely unfair game with the janky Sonic Heroes controls and frustrating. Oh my god, I hate Final Fortress! Anyway, this is a stage with a long series of short trials testing nearly all of your daytime and nighttime skills. Due to this, it's not the most replayable stage in the world, but when doing a playthrough of the game, it's a great thing to do right before the climax. Every time I died, sure it was frustrating, infuriating even, but it was always my fault. And that's what keeps it fun. There are other videos going over what this stage does right and other stages do wrong like Final Fortress and Metropolis, but that's all I have to say about it. Alright, so those are all the stages, but I think it's time to address the elephant in the room. If you know anything about this game, you've probably been warned about the infamous medal collecting. In hub worlds and stages, you can find these coins about the size of Sonic, which means they're like 3 feet tall, some having a sun on them and some having a moon on them. In order to unlock the next stage, you need a certain amount of medals. If you play through the game actively making sure you're picking up medals on the way, you should be okay until the last couple levels where you might have to do some backtracking. These are clearly here to have you spend more time beating the game, so it pads out the runtime. I hate when games do this. It's pretty frustrating you have to collect like 40 medals before beating the last level, but it's not that bad. The medal system isn't like a horrible abomination or anything, it just shouldn't be in the game to begin with. Like, I genuinely have no idea why they put this in the game, other than padding out the game time. In my latest playthrough of the game, I used a mod that removed medal requirements, and the games flowed so much better and still took me like 5 hours. However, I did watch all the cutscenes. But honestly, that's not my only criticism. Sometimes the pacing is a bit whack and the game doesn't tell you about the medal collecting. Other issues I have with the game are really specific, like looking for people who know Professor Pickle at the beginning of the game is confusing on your first playthrough. The slide is way underused and Chip still follows you even after you beat the game. After you beat the game, Chip shouldn't be there, and Sonic should be wearing the bracelet, but oh well, these are pretty much nitpicks. So, Sonic Unleashed, just like the stages, has day and night bosses. The daytime bosses are really satisfying and chaotic, the nighttime bosses are fine. Just like the stages, these are a lot slower and more combat focused rather than just slamming into the boss over and over and watching it crumble. The Atabat one being the highlight for main bosses. Other than Egg Dragoon, the nighttime stages are kinda just whatever. Overall, the bosses are quite enjoyable, not Sonic Generations level or anything, but they're really fun. So after Eggman Land and a very nice penultimate boss fight, we are treated to one of the best and most epic final bosses in a Sonic game ever. And that's coming from someone whose favorite endgame is Sonic Frontiers Final Horizon. I mentioned this a bit earlier, but the finale is so good. When Robotnik realizes he can't control Dark Gaia, he's swatted away by him. And yeah, that made me laugh out loud the first time I played. So Sonic and Chip have the ultimate showdown with the creature that's been terrorizing the world throughout the story. The actual fight switches between, oh, this isn't very fun, to some really tight day sections. Seriously, you have to be really quick. On my first playthrough, I was less than a second, maybe 1 second away from failing, and I died a lot of times too. You play 3 of these, 1 for each eye, and they're obviously great. However, playing as the Dark Gaia Colossus is kinda boring and slow. After Gaia's had enough, he gets really mad and decides to get extra disgusting, growing extra arms, eyes, and teeth. At this point, he's a totally different form, labeled as Perfect Dark Gaia. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. This character fighting this monster. Insane, Sonic Team. Insane. Anyway, Perfect Dark Gaia is tough, and in order to defeat him, he will have to Sonic Unleash. The Chaos Emeralds from the temples you've been returning them to throughout the game all come to Sonic, and Sonic transforms into Super Sonic! So yeah, Perfect Dark Gaia is cooked. Sonic and Chip both charge at Perfect Dark Gaia as you defeat his little snakes. In one final hit, he pierces through Dark Gaia, killing him. Or putting him to rest, as Professor Pickle says. Dark Gaia's influence and darkness is quickly lifted from the world, but Sonic passes out from exhaustion. Chip knows he has little time before he returns to hibernation, so he saves Sonic, putting him in the exact same place where he met him. Although instead of finding Chip, Sonic finds his necklace. Sonic then reunites with Tails and speeds off to their next adventure, just for him to literally never wear the bracelet again. Why? I know this isn't a big deal at all, but I think it would have been really nice if every game after this Sonic kept Chip's bracelet, but it is what it is. So this game left an impact on me. Sonic just helps Chip because he knows what's right, but by the end, both Chip and Sonic have made a great friend. Over the course of the story, the two really form a bond and they talk through things when they need to. See, Sonic's near-perfect characterization in this game is best shown when Chip says,
I haven't done anything, Sonic. You're the reason you haven't changed at all. You're too strong to lose yourself.
I'm the reason?
Yeah, you never doubt yourself no matter what. You never give in to the night or the darkness inside your heart.
I know I praised how fun and replayable the gameplay is, but half the reason I love this game so much is because of the story and dialogue. Doing a playthrough of this game is like this: part beat 'em up, part speedrunning, and part watching a really good movie. When a new Sonic game comes out, I'm excited to see what happens with these characters. How will they act this time? What will they deal with? Will they be well written?
Whew, that was cool. Pun entirely intended.
But yeah, this game's story just nails it and is one of the best. Alright, let's talk about the soundtrack. I'm somewhat of a Sonic music connoisseur, you might say, and as far as soundtracks, I love all the popular ones. Mania, Frontiers, Adventure 2, and I actually thought Force's soundtrack was really good despite the game being not that. As far as Unleashed, it's actually really enjoyable. The lead composer was Tomoyo Otani, who's been composing for mainline games pretty consistently since 2006, and even going all the way back to 2001 Sonic Adventure 2. Super fitting music that's great to listen to while you play, and the game's main vocal theme, Endless Possibility, is the best and most emotional Sonic song ever, in my opinion. This song is just like, we are so back, but also like, look how far we've yet to come. Ooh, it's so good. So, just like the Penny's Big Breakaway review, let's end this video by going over some of my favorite songs in the game. So needless to say, the globe-trotting adventure that is Sonic Unleashed blew me away. A beautiful, immersive, fun, hilarious, and emotional game. This is my second favorite Sonic game ever. It goes right there amongst my favorite Sonic games, and it gets a 9 from me. If you're a Sonic fan who has an Xbox, or better yet a PC or Mac, please play Sonic Unleashed. Just do it. You won't regret it. So yeah, for now that's all I have to say about Sonic Unleashed. So until next time, that's it.